Welcome to my channel. I am Dak. I'll be your host today for another episode of Dak's Fan Zone and End Zone. Let's go. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. I got some fun topics planned out for you guys. So first orders of business, we're gonna be talking about the Daniel Jeremiah latest mock draft that just dropped. I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. And then we got key NFL offseason dates we got to look at dates that are on the docket as we head into this offseason. I know we haven't played the Super Bowl yet, but I'm so excited about the offseason. And then I'm going to talk about a little bit about the NFL team salary cap. I think it's good to know about that, and kind of educate ourselves as to what we're looking at, what teams are on the threshold or in the negative and the positive. So without further ado, let's jump into the first topic. So my first topic, and I know the Super Bowl hasn't been played, right? I know we got some time in between, but I'm still excited. It's just good to take a look at what's on the docket in terms of scheduling for upcoming NFL dates. So I just kind of wanted to rock with you through it, and let's talk about it. So February 9th is the waiver period opens. I guess teams can begin claiming players who were released at the end of the season. And this is mainly for like a roster depth or futures contracts that you'll see mentioned in the offseason once the season ends, usually for teams to get into this. February 17th through March 3rd is a big date. I would say this is the transition franchise tag or transition tag window. Guys like CeeDee Lamb, maybe if the Dallas Cowboys decide they want to keep him instead of letting him hit free agency, they slap that franchise tag. So teams can use the franchise tag or transition tag to retain key pending free agents. This definitely gives teams a tool to keep their stars off the market. But it does come with major cap implications. The next one is March 9th through 11th, the legal tampering period, early negotiating period. Teams are allowed to negotiate with agents or unrestricted free agents, but deals can't be finalized yet. This is when most leaks happen, though, honestly. March 11th, the new league year begins, the official start of the new year. I'm excited about that. Let's go. Let's go. Free agent deals become official. Trades can be completed, but teams must be salary cap compliant. This is basically NFL New Year's Day, so that's another important date. March 29th through April 1st, annual league meetings. Owners vote on rule changes, competition committee proposals, and league business. This often shapes how the game is played that season. If any changes are made or whatever, like the kickoff was a good one where they made the change. April 17th, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I got tongue twister. I don't even know why. I had coffee. I'm fine. But anyway, April 17th, and I did it again. Oh my Lord. Restricted free agent offer sheet deadline. Now, restricted free agents can sign offer sheets with other teams up until this date. Original teams have the right to match or receive draft pick compensation. May 1st, fifth-year option deadlines. Teams must decide whether to pick up the fifth-year option on first-round picks from 4 years ago. A huge decision for team building and cap planning. This is why it's nice to get the quarterbacks in the first round, so you do have that fifth-year option. You get the wide receivers on that fifth-year option. Any contracts that are like, that have, I guess, that are like high market value, that are expensive. It's nice to get that fifth year. It gives you that flexibility. And then May 19th through the 20th, we got the spring league meetings. Whew. More owner meetings focused on long-term league strategy, future scheduling, and potential rule tweaks. Okay. I might have messed up a little bit, but anyway. June 1st, post-June designation dead cap split. Teams can release or trade players and split the salary hit over 2 years instead of one, a key tool for managing big contracts. So there's that one. June 15th, restricted free agent qualifying offer deadline. This is the date for final day for teams to extend qualifying offers to restricted free agents, preserving their rights. And then July 15th, franchise tag extension deadline. If a tag player hasn't signed a long-term deal by this date, they must play on the 1-year tag or not play at all. So these are some good ones. This entire stretch, though, is about cap flexibility, leverage, and timing, not just talent, okay? So the next topic of discussion that I do want to talk about. So the next topic I want to talk about is the NFL salary cap, NFL league figures, where each team stands. But a good thing it's that we have a salary cap, because if not, you get the LA Dodgers in the NFL, right? Type of teams that have a cap, richer owners, more resources, more financial advantages, right? So the salary cap tells me how much they can actually spend. It really shapes free agency plans, restructures, and cuts before moves even happen, right? Teams with cap space can be aggressive. Teams tied against the cap space have to get a little creative in maneuvering their cap and freeing up some of that money. So this is a good tool, but I do want to bring up the NFL salary cap space going into the offseason. So let me pull that up for you guys. So what I would say is this: the NFL cap, salary cap, has big implications, of course, as we know. In case you don't, like, knowing the cap ahead of time kind of helps, like with teams planning the draft, especially whether they draft for flexibility. It directly affects who gets re-signed, traded, or who gets released. Um, Things of that nature. And the salary cap is basically just a blueprint before free agency or the draft starts. That way teams have an idea of what's realistic for them and what's really not, right? Are they going to be in the market for bigger name players, or are they going to be like, you look at the Denver Broncos, the way they maneuvered that dead cap, the biggest NFL's biggest dead salary cap hit with Russell Wilson, right? They had to be very calculated and kind of find those type of bargain players, right, to get the most out of their cap, being that they were limited. So I'll pull up the NFL salary cap and I'll add it to the stage here. So here we are, and this is a great website, overthecap.com. Highly recommended as a tool to utilize to kind of look at the cap. From people that I've talked to, they say it's pretty accurate. They trust this. So the first one, right at the top of the board, leading the free agent race as well in terms of the salary cap. They got big pockets. They got big money to spend. The Titans, and it's especially now that they have Robert Saleh as their new head coach. They also just hired Brian Daboll. They're really going to try to put this team together. Could they potentially be a team that goes from worst to first? Probably not. They got a lot of building to do to add to that roster. But sitting at $93 million, they're sitting pretty, right? $93,513,000, 600. Oh my God, it's a big number. Anyway, the next one, the Raiders. For you Raider fans, it looks like 81 mil. That's a good number. They got some flexibility. They have the number 1 overall draft pick. They got some money to build around their quarterback. And then we got the Chargers cap space. Oof, that's a hefty number to really build around Justin Herbert. $80 million, it looks like. The Seahawks, who are contenders, look at them. They are sitting at $66 million. Crazy. They're in the Super Bowl. The Jets, $66 million. The Commanders at 63. When Jaden Daniels gets back healthy, they have some money that they can utilize, right? And then we go down to the Bengals for Joe Burrow. He needs some help. Well, he needs a defense to help him, so maybe they utilize some of this money right here, $46 million. So that'll be good. And then we got the Rams, 43 million. They have some good spending money to run it back with Matthew Stafford. Put your chips all in, type of thing, and let's win a chip. Let's set him up. Let's send Matthew Stafford out into the sunset. The Steelers with Mike McCarthy, they just hired him, sitting at 37 million. Let's see what they do there. And the Patriots are sitting at 31. I know they did a lot of spending last offseason, and look where it got them in the Super Bowl. Yeah, they really helped out their quarterback last offseason. So, and they have some more money to improve around the margins. The Cardinals have some maneuvering that they're going to need to do. I mean, they're sitting at 31 million, right? I mean, they're not under or whatever. Teams are pretty smart about creating more flexibility. They'll do that. The Broncos right now they're sitting at 27 million. But I think when it's all said and done, I've heard other numbers, but I think it'll go up. Honestly, I heard that they're projected to have anywhere near 45 million. So these are just numbers right now that they have. They haven't updated them yet. Maybe they'll be more accurate as we get closer to free agency and update everything as the year ends and we head off into the off season. But this is just what I'm looking at. And then we got the Colts, 26 million. You got the Niners, 23 million. The Falcons, 17 million. Buccaneers, 16 million. And then you got Ravens with 13, around 13 to 14, Eagles, can they become contenders? They got 10 million, but they'll have to do some contracts. They'll have to create some kind of flexibility if they want to come back and try to contend, right? They were eliminated from the playoffs. And then the Panthers have 9 million. And then you go down and you do not, as a team, want to be in the red. All of that is in the red. The Chiefs, wow. Right now, there's 62 million in the hole. I kind of wonder, is the cap a fluke? No, I don't know. I don't think it is. I just think teams are pretty smart as how they'll create flexibility, and that whether that means to push the bill further down along the line, then that's a way that they do that as well, right? With some restructures for some of their players. So this is where we sit as we head off into the off season for the salary cap space. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And right now I'm looking at dead cap for now. Right now the Broncos 1.2 mil. The Titans are sitting pretty, man. They could really make some noise. They'll probably be really active. So we'll see. This is pretty interesting. I'm excited about the cap space situation for some teams. You get to take a look at who really will be active, right? But the next topic of discussion, can I get a drum roll? Brrr. We're going to talk about Daniel Jeremiah. So, talking about Daniel Jeremiah, he just published his latest mock draft. It was published January 26, 2026. This is a fun time, okay? And let me say this about Daniel Jeremiah when it comes to his mock draft. I know a lot of people look at it sometimes and be like, oh, well, I don't know about this player being there or what have you. But why Daniel Jeremiah's first mock draft is exciting, and I think why he puts it out kind of early. It's the first real look at maybe how NFL teams are thinking, based off of maybe some league intel that he has, because he's a connected guy, right? He's really respected across the NFL in terms of the way he ranks prospects, the way he grades players in general. It just helps identify realistic draft targets and probably potential trade-up spots, right? And one thing I would say is this mock draft isn't about being right. It's about showing us how the league sees the board right now. And as you get closer to the draft season in April, of course, players are going to climb up the boards, right, with the scouting combine. I know we have the Senior Bowl coming up on this upcoming weekend. And then, of course, their pro days. So it's an exciting time to be. One of my favorite moments of the offseason is the NFL draft, right? Do a big old draft party. I go all out. But so let's jump into it. I want to show you guys some of the players that he has selected for your teams. And again, I'm not a scout. I'm not, I don't break down film. I rely on people that are more intelligent on that aspect of the game and give my thoughts, right? And my opinions based off the information they've given me. So number one, they have. This is obviously expected, anticipated. Fernando Mendoza. He has the Raiders going number one overall and selecting a quarterback. Now I know they've been in talks with Davis Webb, who's a coach that is known to develop quarterbacks, quarterback whisperer in Bo Nix. Would he get his opportunity to be a head coach and coach up Fernando Mendoza? And now I know maybe Clint Kubiak might be another name. We'll see. But this is exciting. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. I know on many draft boards he's either one or two. You know, it's kind of like choose your flavor type of thing because I know Caleb Downs on PFF is sitting at number one on many draft boards. In terms of where they rank players. Number two, the New York Jets. He says that Arvel Reese is a good pick for them right here at this time of the year. At this current moment, they have needs all over the defense, and he's right on that, spot on. He lists here that Reese is versatile and athletic. He'll benefit from working off the edge full time after also playing off ball linebacker during his Buckeye career. This is a chess piece, and on defense, you do need a chess piece to have that competitive advantage that offenses will have to game plan for, right? So I like that selection a lot. Arvel Reese is a solid talent, man, and looking at PFF right now, he's ranked at number 3, so that's a good one. The next one, let's scroll down. Let's go down. He has the Arizona Cardinals selecting Utah's offensive tackle Spencer Fano. Now, despite who we think might be the quarterback, whether they move on off of Kyler Murray or whatever, this is a solid pick. They're going to need somebody to really protect their quarterback. So that's a good one. I like that one. And Spencer Fano, I'm looking up on PFF. He's ranked 17th. Is this a reach? I don't know. But you kind of have to go with what you see fit. What your team needs at this point in time. After free agency, you kind of got to look at your team overall after the free agency and see what needs you still have afterwards. And if you still have flexibility, I mean, go with the best player available. Type of thing. This one's a good one. I really like this one a lot for the Titans to help out Cam Ward. Francis Mauigoa. Take the next step, he says. This offseason is about helping Cam Ward to take the next step, and it starts with doing a better job of protecting him. Absolutely do this. You need to protect your quarterback so that they can have longevity throughout their career. So that's a great selection. I like it. Number 5, Mansour Delane. The Giants could add a receiver, he lists. It's a deep class, but Delane would immediately be their most talented quarterback. Yeah, they're very rough in the secondary. They can use all the help that they can get. And I'm going to pull up the Giants right here real quick. What their team needs are listed here. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Anyways, corner obviously is a need. So let's go onward. Number 6. Ooh, this one's very intriguing. You get somebody to pair with Myles Garrett and a David Bailey. Texas Tech was an elite defense in college, very respected. They had talent all throughout that defense. The Cleveland Browns, he has taken David Bailey. Ooh, I'm intrigued by him. I'm freaking intrigued. What about you, Browns? Talk to me, Dog Pound. I'm freaking intrigued. Let's go. That's a good one. Number 7. Ooh, and I know the Commanders could utilize defense in the worst way. Yes, they can. The Washington Commanders, Daniel Jeremiah right now has Sonny Styles going to the Commanders. Perfect. He says it reminds him. Styles reminds him of Fred Warner, and you know what Fred Warner is in the NFL. Flies all over the field. Adam Peters, an executive in San Francisco, knows who Fred Warner is. I like that. I like this one. I could get up for this. I could get hyped for this selection if I were you guys. But if there was another player that you guys would like, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I don't know, man. I'm really excited about this selection. They really needed defense in the worst way. But first, I'm going to check out something too. I'm looking at something real quick, so don't mind me. Here we go. The next pick that I want to look at. Ooh, man. So we're looking at the Saints, and he has Jeremiah Love, who's an elite running back. I love, no pun intended, the idea of pairing Tyler Shug with the most electric playmaker in the draft in Jeremiah Love. Yeah, Jeremiah Love is a freaking stud. I'd be down for that. I like that a lot. And you know, if the Saints decide not to go that route, they go in a different direction. Do they ultimately go wide receiver, guard, defensive lineman? I don't know. But the Chiefs would be intrigued to get Jeremiah Love. I can tell you this, if he's there at 9, right? So, but he has the Kansas City Chiefs adding some edge. Ruben Bain Jr. I like Ruben Bain. Spectacular player. He says this is his favorite pick for the Chiefs. Daniel Jeremiah has written here. He has having coached Trent Cole and Brandon Graham in Philadelphia. Yeah, he has that junkyard dog mentality. I like it. I like this pick. Man, Ruben Bain, I thought he could probably go higher. But like I said, as we get closer to the draft, we'll see maybe if some of these guys move on up. And, you know, there's always going to be those surprise selections in the draft. Number 10, the Jermod. Cincinnati Bengals selecting Jermod McCoy. They need defense in the worst way. He has here that McCoy missed the 2025 season due to ACL injury. 2024 was outstanding. Squarely in the mix to be the top cornerback in the draft. Yeah, I like that. I'm all about that. I'm all about it. And looking at the needs for this team, I mean, safety, it says center, guard, D lineman. Yeah, but let's improve that secondary, right? Let's get some help. The next one, this is a player, man, that I'm like ecstatic. I honestly thought that the Dolphins would get a safety last year. What's the one out of Georgia that was drafted? I'm trying to blank. But I felt like they were going to draft a safety last year or maybe a corner. But they get their guy this year, Caleb Downs. And like I said, Caleb Downs at this point in the draft is solid draft value. Like I'm seeing him ranked, like I said, either 1 or 2 on draft boards. And then the Dallas Cowboys. Ooh, they need secondary help. You've seen what they were last year. Oh, my God. But he has them selecting corner. They could go edge, too. Remember, they need somebody to replace Micah Parsons. So that might be the move, too, as well. Number 13, Mekhi Lemon. They need a slot guy that can navigate and kind of control the middle of the field as well, right? And be somebody that like Mekhi Lemon that could, keep defenses up at night. He has here the Rams value tough, rugged receivers who are also playmakers. I'll tell you what, I got to see Mekhi Lemon play against Oregon, and boy, he jumped off. He jumped out for me. He really stood out. Very talented, great hands. I love it. The Baltimore Ravens on this one, he has Olevavega Ion. I think that's how you pronounce it, being drafted to the Ravens. They need to upgrade at guard, and center Tyler Lindenbaum is due to reach free agency in March. Yeah, they can use some offensive line help, right? The Buccaneers. Ooh. Cassius Howell. They go edge here. He says it's one of his favorite players to study. Howell plays 100 miles per hour at all times. If I'm a Buccaneers fan, I'm excited about this, especially to go with the 27 career sacks. And then here we go. Here's another one that I really like, but I thought this guy might be a top 10 selection. He could be. Teams could sway themselves and really decide to go this way. But you know how Ohio State does, developing wide receiver talent. It must be nice. But Carnell Tate going to the Jets, pairing aside another player in Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. That's like, can they get any richer? My God, they're just lucky. Spoiled rotten Ohio State fans to get that type of talent in their wide receiver rooms. No, I'm just kidding. Number 17, they got Akeem Messador going to Detroit. He will be opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Dynamic pass rush duo. Yes, Bain was the other guy, as we just talked about recently. But this guy has some size, let me tell you. He is a big boy. And I would say, yeah, I mean, you can make the case they need another edge to pair with Aiden Hutchinson. But I would say this too as well. A guy that might be on the block this offseason, wink wink, is Max Crosby. Would they want to trade up for a guy like him? I don't know. We'd find out. But right now, looking at PFF on their board, he's ranked 33 and he's 6'3", 280. That's a big dude. Very big dude. So that's an intriguing on he's 6'3". Yeah, gonna be 25. I like it. I like that a lot for them. And they don't have to invest a bunch of draft capital, right? I mean, to trade for a guy like Crosby, they just draft a guy. And Aiden Hutchinson would be your Batman in this one. So I like that. I like that. The Minnesota Vikings at 18 go with Emmanuel McNeil, Warren as safety. Man, I kind of thought last year they would go safety as well. They didn't. But they go safety, and this point in time, he has them selecting higher on McNeil than some other people around the league. But I love his combination of size and explosive playmaking ability. He could replace Harrison Smith. Well, you remember what Harrison Smith was in his prime, right? A gamer, game changer. A guy who was a chess piece, because you need weapons on defense, right? You can line them up in the dime packages, bring them up in the box. I think this would be a good selection for sure. Good long-term solution to replace your boy Harrison Smith. Number 19. This is a good one. Jordan Tyson, opposite Team Mac, who was a stud this season for the Carolina Panthers. Shout out to them. This would be a nice move. I know Tyson has dealt with some injuries, but that's okay. Where is he ranked on PFF? I'm just going through real quick. Jordan Tyson, I think, is pretty up there. I think this would be great value if I'm being honest. He's 7th. He's 7th on PFF's draft board right now. 6'2", 200. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I thought he'd go top 10 as well, but like I said, he's dealt with some injuries. Maybe that scares teams off. The medicals, they don't really have much confidence in him. They decide to go another direction, potentially. Well, here we go. Lo and behold, the Cowboys get their edge. They get their man. They get their man. Keldrick Falk with Auburn. He has him taking an edge rusher that I just talked about earlier. Man, it's like I just saw the mock draft. I'm not cheating, I promise. I wanted to go through this with you guys as my first time. So Falk is a tough evaluation, he says. He has great size and is a smooth athlete, but I'd like to see him play with a little more urgency. The upside is tremendous. Okay, Auburn. Okay, I like that. Where is this guy ranked at? Let's see if I could just look through my notes here. Give me a second. So I like the edge though, but I guess we'll see. He's not really coming up real quick, so this might be a little more of a reach right now because he's not popping up within the top 50. Hold on, I'm scrolling through. I wanted to share the PFF as well on the thing, but still figuring out that technical aspect of this game. But I like the pick. Yeah, if he feels like he has high upside, you never know. I trust the professionals. I trust the guy that has done this for many years, right? Well, who am I to say like, hey, Dak, you're telling Daniel Jeremiah to do this draft here? Like, no. And like I said, this is not about being right. That's about kind of giving you a feel of how the draft board may fall at this point in time, and it could change, right? We've seen many players rise up the boards. So the next one, this is one of mine, and I'm a little upset. Denzel Boston, not Denzel Washington. We talking about Denzel Boston. The Steelers must find someone to complement DK Metcalf. Boston is another big physical receiver to play opposite the two-time Pro Bowler. This is a guy that I really like going into the draft. I think he'd be a great draft selection for the Denver Broncos, who need wide receiver help. He has some speed with size to him. Great catch radius. Definitely check him out. Check out some of his tape. You'll like him. This is a good selection. I like it a lot. The next one, the Los Angeles Chargers go with Lee Hunter as at the DT. So must be nice. Hunter's one of my early draft crushes. He says he has outstanding size, quickness, and the ability to disrupt with TR Tart due to become a free agent. Hunter would provide some insurance. Yes, he would. I like Lee Hunter a lot. The next one, Avion Terrell. I think that's how you pronounce it. This one, I don't know. Like, would they really invest in this much corner talent in the first round? A corner again? I mean, you can never have too many guys to cover, right? Especially talented ones. Having been that they've already drafted Cooper DeJean, DeJean, Quinion Mitchell. This would give him the best young secondary in the NFL. And you know about the thing about corners, guys, have been on rookie contracts is it's cheap, right? You have three potentially elite corners that are young who are on rookie contracts. You can't go wrong with that. You cannot. Number 24, Caden Proctor out of Alabama, offensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns. He says if the Browns can keep Dawan Jones healthy, they would have a massive duo at tackle. Keyword is if, right? We'll see what happens there. But I mean, if Shador is the guy, you got to keep him upright. You need to have some good tackles to keep him safe. So, yeah, Caden Proctor would be a good selection for sure. I was going to breeze through and kind of see where he's at on this board. But I like it. I like that pick. Caden Proctor's 25 on PFF right now, you guys. So cool. Then next one we got. This guy's a dog. Chicago Bears stole my man. You hear that? They stole her man. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if you've seen Big Mama's House, but that's kind of where I got that line from. Dylan Thieneman to the Bears. Safety, man. This guy's a gamer. I love him. The Bears figure to be in the safety market with contracts expiring of Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, and CJ Gardner-Johnson. Yeah, get this, man. Automatic first-round talent. Flies all over the field. Great tackler. I love it. Now this guy. Ooh, this is some eye candy. Let me tell you. Eye candy. C.J. Allen, Buffalo Bills. Great instincts. He covers the field really good. Explosive. I've heard folks, experts rather, compare this gentleman to Roquan Smith. You know what Roquan Smith is in the middle of the field for that Ravens defense. So, C.J. Allen-esque. I mean, he'd be a baller. Pairing him with Matt Milano, yeah, that's a problem. They really need to shore up that defense anyway. That was their weakest link. And this is the one. This is my favorite selection of this draft, honestly. And I'm curious so far going through this who your favorite selection is. But I'll say this: the San Francisco 49ers drafting Kenyon Sadiq, he's gonna go much higher than 27. I'm telling you guys right now. Turn on the tape. This man can be a problem. I promise you. I got to see him at Oregon, and he is just a athletic freak. Sadiq, the athletic freak. He's explosive. He can run block. He's an elite pass catcher. He can stretch the middle of the field. He could be utilized as a wide receiver. He's so talented. Um, he's gonna be special for and for whoever gets him. He's really a weapon for sure. But I was pulling up my thing about him. Give me 1 second. I had something to read to you guys that I wanted to. This is what some notes I took. If those of you that are 49er fans, like you guys would be intrigued. He's definitely a good replacement for um, George Kittle. I listed here. I had some notes. Kenyon Sadiq brings true versatility as a tight end. He could operate in line, contribute as a run blocker, and add value in the passing game. I know a lot of people aren't really high on getting tight ends in the first round, right? Because of positional value. Put that shit to bed. Put it to bed. Because I'm going to tell you this. Kenyon Sadiq will be a difference maker day one. He will be an upgrade in your room day one. You look at what Brock Bowers was. You look at Tyler Warren. And now can you add another year? 3 years in a row of elite talent at the tight end position entering the first round, being a problem. Kenyon Sadiq, man. Take a look at him. Familiarize yourself with him because he is a name that I'm harping for as a Broncos fan. Just saying. And then onward, I got a little crazy about my guy. He is my guy, my favorite player in this draft. Sorry. Houston Texans draft Monroe Freeling out of Georgia, offensive tackle. That line was trash. Let's call it what it was. You saw what they did, the Patriots did against C.J. Stroud. But the Texans did a nice job of maneuvering to land Ariante Ursary in last year's draft. Now they get another young tackle to pair with him. Freeling is just scratching the surface of his potential. Ooh, that's some intriguing stuff there. I like that. I don't know how you guys feel, Houston fans, but build the trenches, put up the wall, do what you got to do, because Freeling is that dude to protect CJ Stroud if you want to keep him upright, if you want your offense to be a little better. And he's ranked 31, it looks like, at PFF, and he's a freak. 6'7", 315. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I don't know about y'all, but if he's coming at me to try to block me, I'm just going to step out the way. He's a man's man. He is a man's man. Okay. Number 29, Blake Miller out of Clemson. Daniel Jeremiah says he's flying a bit under the radar, but you'll hear a lot more about Miller as we go through the draft process. Well, I'm going to write down my notes. I'm taking notes because this is a guy that I'm not familiar with, but I'm taking notes. What about y'all? How do the Rams feels about drafting this guy, huh? To protect Matthew Stafford. This is a good one. I like it a lot. So yeah, sign me up. Build the trenches. I like the trenches. That's where the NFL games are won. They're win in the trenches. You know that. We know that. And I got eye candy right here. Number 30. This one's a great freaking draft selection. How he gets to number 30 is beyond me. But this man right now, I think going on PFF, I'm looking at it. Imagine a number 9 prospect on PFF. He's number 9 on their draft board. Imagine him dropping all the way to 30. Talk about some value. And the Denver Broncos are losing John Franklin Myers this offseason. He'll be a free agent. Could this be intriguing to some of us? We'll see. But Peter Woods is a special player. Special. Yeah, this guy. did pretty good this season, man. I'm excited. He had 3 sacks this season, 3 sacks the year before. Imagine interior lineman that just wreaks havoc throughout that interior of the defense, collapsing the pocket from the inside. And then you would get Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper doing their thing. But I'm saying if there's a chance, I'll go get my eye candy over here with Kenyon Sadiq. But that's for another day. I get carried away. I know. Don't mind me. But number 31, Caleb Lamu. I think I pronounced that right. But they have, with Morgan Moses set to turn 35 in March, the Patriots land another young tackle. They got Campbell last year, which was a smart selection. That paid off for them. Kept the quarterback clean. I like this one. They need to build the trenches as well. I like it. And then 32, as if this defense couldn't get any better. They had cornerback help. My gosh. He says, I think I said that CC will put on a show once we get to the test portion of the season. He can fill a void if Seahawks lose any of their soon-to-be free agents at corner in Kobe Bryant, Reek Woolen, or Josh Jobe. Yeah, man. I like it. So this was pretty fun to talk draft with you guys. Daniel Jeremiah's first mock draft was very fun. I really enjoyed it. It's just a fun time, right? I know, like I said earlier in the episode, that we haven't really talked. We haven't really hit the Super Bowl, right? But we're already talking off season. But this is a fun time. So let me know who your favorite selection was for Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, and let me know who you think that maybe your team trades up for or not. We'll see. It's gonna be a fun time, but I do gotta say this, you guys. My NFL takes have been delivered. End zone reached. I'm Dak, and this is the Fan Zone End Zone. Have a good one, y'all, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know, what dates are you excited for NFL key dates? Who do you think will be the most active in free agency? Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye, y'all.